cabin in the middle of nowhere. The idea of isolation may seem comforting to some, a break from the hustle and bustle, the city, the voices all around. But absolute silence comes at a price. Sometimes it allows you to hear things you shouldn't. See what isn't there. Or worse, realize that you're not alone, even when you should be. These 7 stories come from different people who, at different times, rented remote cabins for different reasons: rest, work, escape, solitude. None of them expected to experience anything out of the ordinary. But they all left with scars they could never explain or forget. What happens when you get too far away from the world? When the only sound for hours is the crackling of dry leaves beneath something you can't see? After reading these stories, you might start to think twice about seeking refuge in a place where no one can hear you scream. My name is Jared. Last January, 3 friends and I decided to rent a remote cabin to celebrate one of our birthdays. The idea was to spend the weekend without cell phone signal, without the noise of the city, just drinking, eating, and a fireplace. We arrived on a Friday afternoon. The cabin was in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by dense forest. It was a simple structure, with 2 floors, a fireplace, an open kitchen, and a wooden porch that overlooked a trail. It was the kind of place where silence hung heavy in the air. The first night, we played cards and drank. Nothing special. Around 2 in the morning, I went to bed. The other 3 stayed in the living room for a while longer. When I woke up on Saturday, I realized that one of our friends, Connor, was not in the room, or in the living room, or in the bathroom. He was gone. At first we thought he had gone for a walk on the trail, but he didn't bring a coat, cell phone, or flashlight. We searched for 3 hours. We shouted his name and followed trails through the woods. Nothing. We were already deciding to call for help when we heard the front door slam. It was Connor. He came in as if nothing had happened. He was covered in dirt, his face pale, but not hurt. When we asked him where he had gone, he just said, "What?" I went to the bathroom. He thought he had gone to the bathroom around 3 in the morning. He said he went in, turned off the light, and then he was there in the living room, with us asking where he had been. When we showed him that he was covered in dirt, he froze. He looked at his hands and started shaking. That night, no one slept well. We went back on Sunday and never spoke about it again. But Connor has had recurring nightmares ever since. Always with the same theme: he is underground, hearing footsteps above him. My name is Tess. After a tough breakup, I rented a secluded cabin for a week to try to get my head together. No social media, no emails. Just silence, books, and walking. The cabin was small, surrounded by tall trees. The perfect place for someone trying to escape the noise. The first day, I felt something strange. It wasn't fear. It was like the cabin was aware. Every time I moved, it seemed like something reacted. Doors creaked, wood creaked. But always in time with my footsteps. The second night, I fell asleep early. But I woke up at 3:04 a.m. to the sound of the kitchen radio on. It was a station with only hiss. I swear I didn't touch it. I turned it off. I went back to bed. Minutes later, I heard footsteps upstairs. But the cabin was on the ground floor. On the 3rd day, I left the bathroom door ajar. When I went to take a shower, I closed the shower curtain. Halfway through the shower, I heard the bathroom door open slowly, and then, I felt like the air had changed. A presence. I quickly opened the curtain. The door was the same. but the mirror was completely fogged up, and there was a handprint on it. My heart froze. I spent 2 more days trying to rationalize. But each night was more intense. Lights flickering. Sounds of wood creaking non-stop. The radio turning on by itself. And one time, when I woke up in the middle of the night, I saw a shadow passing by the porch. I decided to leave the next morning. Before I left, I thanked them out loud. I don't know why. Maybe because part of me felt like the cabin was somehow listening to me. Maybe it just wanted to show me that being alone there didn't mean being alone. My name is Marcus. After a difficult year, I decided to take a few days off in a secluded cabin with my dog, Rex. A calm, obedient German shepherd who has always been my hiking partner. The cabin was old, made of wood, with a still lake in the back. The place was too quiet. From the moment we entered, Rex started acting strange. He would sniff the floor, growl at empty corners, and avoid going up the stairs. The first night, I woke up to him barking furiously at the fireplace. It was as if someone was there. But there was nothing. And he only calmed down when I turned on all the lights in the house. The next morning, he refused to eat his food. He kept pacing back and forth, as if he was listening to something I couldn't hear. And that night, the sounds started. Footsteps coming from the attic, which was locked. The third night, Rex disappeared. The door was closed. I searched for hours, screaming, flashlight in hand. I found him on the edge of the lake, covered in mud, shaking, as if he had been buried and escaped. When we got back to the cabin, he got stuck in the doorway. He only came back in when I pulled hard. And as soon as he was in, he ran to the fireplace and stood there. That's when I noticed something bizarre. A candle I had left in the kitchen was now next to the fireplace. At that moment, I got the message. I grabbed our things and we left. I slept in the car at a gas station. Rex only relaxed after we were far away. I don't know what was in that cabin, but Rex saw it before I did. And whatever it was, he didn't want to be alone. Not everyone who has had such experiences talks about it. Many prefer silence. Some don't want to seem crazy. Others still try to believe it was just their imagination. But everyone has the same feeling, that something was with them during those days of isolation. If you've ever thought about renting a remote cabin, these stories might not change your mind. But the next time you're in the middle of nowhere, pay close attention to the sounds around you. See where you left everything. And, above all, trust your instincts. Because sometimes, fear doesn't come from what's there, but from what shouldn't be there.